What's up, Tribe? How you guys doing? This is gonna be a quick recap of part two of the season premiere of Big Brother. You know they gave us the two-part premiere, so let's talk a little bit about what went down in last night's episode. So Jackson won camp director, and remember we know that the camp director now has to choose 4 people to put up for elimination. Those 4 people get to fight their way back into the house, with one person remaining out. First eliminated guest of the season. Now I don't like this. I'm gonna be honest with you. They do it every year, but I don't like it. I think everybody should have an opportunity at least 1 week in the house. Damn, like I don't like that you in the house and you out the same day. I really don't. And this tonight's episode was really heartbreaking. I really felt really bad for the person who got eliminated because they were really. I mean, you could see they were just how hurt they were. But neither here nor there. Jackson has to figure it out. And of course, everybody's doing what everybody does. They all going in his room and pleading their case and campaigning and all this other stuff, except for one person, Miss Kimmy. Kimmy is not campaigning. Yeah, Isabella. I mean, not Isabella. I'm sorry. Miss Kimmy is like, look, I don't feel the need to go, kiss his butt yet. I don't know what's going on. Um, and Jackson, they're calling Jackson, I think they're calling him Mickey or something because there's 2 Jacksons in the house, or Jack and Jackson, whatever. But Jason Momoa looking Aquaman is the other Jackson. And Jackson, the camp director Jackson. Um, but Jason Momoa brings up a good point. He says, look, Aquaman says, look, your first priority are to the people that voted for you. 5 people didn't vote for you. 4 out of those 5 is who you should put up. And to me, that at this point, that's probably the most democratic way to do it. But Jackson ultimately chose who he was going to put up. And honestly, out of the 4 people he chose, there's really only one, in my mind, bad decision that he made. He chose Cliff. Cliff is the older guy. Of course, he's easy pickings. The older guy is always the first one that gets picked. He chose Isabella. I'm sorry, not Isabella. Hold on. Let me go to my list of names because I know I got to remember all these people's names. It's 16 people. I got to. Not Isabella. Jessica. I'm sorry. Now, again, I think he chose Jessica. I think she's low hanging fruit. She's the big girl, but also she did run against him, so maybe he could justify it that way. He chose Kimmy, but he said Kimmy didn't campaign. Like that was an easy pick for him. Now the last pick I didn't think was the easy pick. He chose David. Now here's my issue with him choosing David. One, David looked like he would have been a good competitor, somebody you could have put on his team. But what pissed me off was you insulting my intelligence because you went to David with this whole I'm putting you up as a pawn. This isn't a voting situation where, oh, I can put you up as a pawn and tell the rest of the house not to vote for you because you're the pawn. We really want the other person. This is you putting him up, and he has to literally win a competition to get back in the house. So you're not doing me any favors. You're not putting me up as a pawn. You're legitimately putting me up as somebody who potentially could be not coming back into the house. So I ain't even like that whole thing. And David told him, like, look, I'm not really feeling that. But he put him up anyway. So the competition was that they basically, in the pitch black, they had to figure their way back into the Big Brother house. They were in a forest and they had different tree trunks and they had to find the right tree trunk. And of course, if they went to the wrong tree trunk, then there was, an obstacle course or, some mess they had to go through. In the y'all, these my glasses up. Can't get them on my face right. Um, there was obstacles they had to go through to get back into the house correctly or whatever. Um, but they had clues along the way. So the first person to find a way back into the house was Cliff. I was like, young guy, first one in the house. Second one in the house was Miss Kimmy. I said, oh. Then it was down to Jessica and David. Jessica was the last one to find her way into the house. So David actually did not win, and he was actually eliminated. And David was in tears, like real fell out on the floor, heartbroken tears. And that, like I said, I just don't like it, y'all. Um, I just don't like that get there, go home the same day. But that's just me, that's just my 2 cents. So we've got a couple of alliances that have started up. Now, the first one we had was Isabella, Jack, and Jack. Then they sort of expanded it to Isabella, let me get all the names, Holly, Christy, or Christine, Jack, and Nick, right? So they got a three guys, 3 girls, a 6-part alliance. And they said, look, Jackson already has immunity for the first week because he was camp director. So now we just have to make sure that one of the other 5 wins HOH and we're safe for the first week. Y'all know how this goes. They might be all right for a couple of weeks and then they'll start self-destructing in a minute. But for now, that's actually not a bad alliance. It's actually a pretty smart alliance. Jessica, of course, is now on the warpath because she's pissed off that Jackson put her up for elimination. So, of course, she's kind of giving him the, okay, I got your number look. Christine and Tommy, remember, they were the ones who know each other because Christine dated a family member of Tommy's. They had a little secret conversation. They were like, look, we're not going to let nobody know we know each other, but we got each other's back. And Tommy was like, unless Christine said, the breakup wasn't a great breakup, and Tommy even went so far as to say, I hope my family understands that I got to work with her. I got to do what I got to do. So I'm like, that must have been more than a bad breakup. That sounded like that was more than just a bad breakup. I was like, okay. What else went down? Oh, okay. I think that was pretty much what went down till we get to the first HOH competition. So the first HOH competition is an endurance. And I really thought they were going to make us wait till the next episode to see who won, but they didn't. It was an endurance competition. They were hanging from the little tree trunks, whatever, the logs or whatever. And y'all know how the endurance competitions go. They got to hang on. They were in pairs, but it was an individual competition. They threw liquid at him and all kinds of stuff until the last man standing. Jessica was the first one to fall, so I feel like Jessica, you might be up for. They don't have a whole lot to go on. They already know the alliance. Okay, I'm talking ahead of myself. Okay, the last 2 standing was Tommy and Christine. Now remember, Tommy and Christine have sort of that secret wink, wink. We know each other, but we don't want nobody to know that we know each other. And so Tommy's thing was, do I drop and let Christine know that I trust her? Christine was like, he need to go on and drop. He know I'm not going to put him up for elimination. He's good. Tommy ends up falling. Now, I don't know if he did it on purpose or if he just lost his balance, but he ended up falling. So Christine is the new head of household. So that's what I was saying about the whole Jessica piece of it. I'm like, Jackson already feel like you out to get him because of the situation with the camp director. So he already feel like you out to get him. I don't know, and you were the first one to fall, so I don't know. I feel like Jessica might be on the block. I don't know who else might. Probably Cliff again, because again, he low hanging fruit. It's the first couple of weeks, And Jackson's thing is, I already got a bunch of blood on my hands. He was like, now, it's time for me to try to wash some of that blood off. So he's trying to play nice. And the good thing is, even though he is in the alliance that's in power, nobody knows that right now. So he can spend the week, being nice to everybody and, hey, how you doing? So we'll see how it works out, you guys. We'll see how it works out. Let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.